Hi everyone, Mr. Paul here. I'm going to explain to you our next experiment as part of our Beneath Our Feet science unit. So last week, in our last experiment, we were observing our soil sample. Today, we're going to use the soil sample and we're going to get some water. So you need about a glass of water. You're going to need a jam jar with a lid, a piece of paper. We're going to put the soil sample into the jam jar first, and then we're going to add water to it. So here we go. I'm going to make a little funnel out of the paper. I'm going to put the soil sample in. Give it a bit of a shuffle around. And so the soil sample's gone into the jam jar. Next I'm going to add water to the jam jar. You only need about a cup, so it comes almost to the top of the jar. Now I'm going to put the lid on, give it a little shake, not a vigorous shake, just a tiny little shake, and put it down. And then we're going to leave that and see what happens to it over the next couple of days. Hi kids, it's a day later and I'm looking at my soil sample here in the jar. I can see that a lot of it has settled down to the bottom of the jar. Let's call that sediment. Okay, the sediment is on the bottom. Then I can see there's a lot of area here that's got the water, and then I can see some things that are still floating on the top of the sample. So today, what I want you to do is get a ruler and we're going to measure how far the sediment goes up, how far the water is, and then there's a tiny bit of stuff on the top. Then get a piece of paper and write down your measurements, because we're going to draw a labeled diagram of your sample. I'm also looking in the sample and I can see that the water is not quite clear. So that leads me to think that maybe there's still soil that's floating or suspended in the water there. Okay? And the sediment looks pretty settled at the bottom. So here's a couple of questions. How do you think that soils might change over time? I wonder what things could cause soil to change. What things might also contribute to soil changing? Like, I wonder if the vegetation, which is the trees and the grass and the things, I wonder if that contributes to the soil changing. Last question. What things do you think went well in the soil activity? If you were to do this experiment again, I want to think what things you would keep the same and what things you would change. Maybe you could have a conversation about that with your parents. So some things you could look at for further investigation would be, how does soil change and how does vegetation change the soil? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next science video. Bye.